This is Betty's spring. My son-in-law, big clinical.
Specialist, you can just come in and see the person.
Beautiful. Someone out there.
And he undertook him out to see where Adam is.
Bob would be in business meetings too. Always the one I always wound up, I don't know why, being financial secretary. So you gotta forget about it, Jeff. The one that always votes to spend all the money is the one that always gave the least. You know, always happens. And I have to tell myself, sit down, don't say nothing, you know. And when they go to spend all this money on this people, it's been hard.
That's still
You know,
that's still out of might be 2 seconds.
Gene and Dick are here.
There's Dick.
Hi.
He hugged me. He got out of the parade and came over and hugged me. Remember that?
I sure did. I'd do it again, too.
Where's Robert?
Okay.
He's out playing shuffleboard.
You won't be asked twice.
No, of course not. He's still a member of the family as far as I know. Hi. So nice to see you too.
Think about you once in a while.
Well, thank you.
They're supposed to be. I hope they will be.
Most of the roofs off my old garage.
Yeah. You bet.
Just under my coffee. Goes up and work. Different. And it's 2/3 hot coffee. You don't notice it.
You drink it all. You want some coffee, Gail?
Yeah, I guess I haven't had it since.
I just took it. This is the tea.
Yeah, I like that.
Try.
there you go. Now you got to put it on.
We're going to have a short program and have a few words. The only problem is that we don't have a lot of chairs in there, so I'd like to ask some of my strong cousins if they could bring a chair or two with them when we go into the other room. So why don't you all...
Smile, everyone.
We would like to thank all of you, first of all, for coming out today and being here, because all of you have helped to make this a very special occasion for my parents. And some of you have come a long ways, say like from California, and we just want all of you to know how much we appreciate your presence with us today. It will be this coming Wednesday, July 28th, that Mom and Dad will reach 50 years of marriage. And I have asked them if they would be willing to share with us a memory or two of their younger years, especially how they met, and anything that they think would be of interest to us. And usually we have ladies going first. But we're going to do it differently and have my dad start, and then Mom will continue where Dad leaves off. So Dad?
Well, we couldn't let this occasion go without a very special thanks to Diane and Bruce for all the decorations, for setting up the whole thing. And also, for 50 years of marriage, we've got to thank our Heavenly Father, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for blessing us. And we want you to know that we are really thankful for that. And Diane asked, well, how did you guys really get together? John and Tilly Oshner, will you folks stand up? Stand up, John and Tilly. You're the ones. You're the ones. Margie grew up we both grew up in Portland, but Margie attended the Laurelhurst Church I attended the Emmanuel Church, and growing up, we had youth exchange programs, and revivalists would come for 2 weeks, and we'd go to her church and listen. So we knew each other, but not really. It just, we knew. Margie was so lovely and so vivacious. This kid just didn't have a chance. Didn't even think of dating. She was just too blooded. But on New Year's Eve, 1941, that was December 31st, 1941, John and Tilly hosted a party at their home for a group of the singles from church. And my brother and his wife Frida is Tilly's sister, so that's how come I, the other church guy, got in with these Laurelhurst gang. But there were quite a group of us, and all singles and not paired off. But as these things are wont to be, as the evening progressed, why somehow couples kind of found couples, and so came the ringing of the bell. New Year's, the old year out, the new year in, and we gave ourselves our very first real kiss on New Year's night. Well, okay, so that's how I got to know Margie. Very shortly after that, her older brother, younger, her oldest brother Walt was drafted into the Army, and Herb was just a few months shy. He wasn't able to get his driver's license yet because of age. Mother Krell had to have some way of taking her family to church, so Margie had to learn to drive, and of course, I got to teach her how to drive. Oh man, what an excuse for dating. Wow, I got to see her 2 or 3 nights a week. And of course, after she became familiar with the operation of the car, why, I had to show her how to get up little hills and curves, and that meant up to Rocky Butte in the evenings. And so, okay, I think you get the picture. I'll just say this one more thing. At the time, I was working out at St. John's Oregon Shipyard, graveyard shift. I had to be at work out in St. John's at midnight. That meant leaving her off out in southeast Portland, 111 in Foster, by no later than 11 o'clock. And if you ever want to score points with mother-in-law, get her daughter home by an early time before 11 o'clock every night, and that worked out real well. Anyway, I then joined the Navy as an aviation cadet. Was sent to California. We corresponded. And I was sent up to Pasco, Washington, and I got home on a few 72-hour weekend passes, and we dated a little more. And then I was sent to Corpus Christi, Texas for advanced flight training. And I had 72 hours delay en route to Corpus Christi, so naturally I came from Pasco to Portland and took Margie on a ride up to Multnomah Falls. But that ring was burning a hole in my pocket. I got as far as Crown Point, the Vista House, and there overlooking the Columbia River, I pulled the ring out and asked her if she would be my bride, and she said yes. Thank you. Okay, so on down to Corpus Christi, more correspondence back and forth, and after I got my wings and commission, I sent over for 8 weeks of special navigation training. I was in long-range patrol planes and took some special navigation training. And when I got to Florida, that was Hollywood, Florida, the Navy had taken over a large oceanfront multi-story hotel for their training center. And within a couple of days we realized that just through the hotel's grounds, the other side of their tennis courts, was a street fronting the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, that had a whole group of cottages. Well now, this is wartime, summertime, low tourist trade. Cottage manager was real happy to rent out these cottages by the week to Navy personnel. So I sent a telegram to Portland and said, honey, come on down, let's get married. What better honeymoon spot could we Portland folk have than the Atlantic Ocean, a few miles north of Miami, on the shores of Hollywood, Florida. Margie, tell them how you got there.
Mine won't be that long. Where he left off, he sent for me. And anybody in their right mind, and picture this, middle of 1943, middle of the World War II, civilians wouldn't travel. It was an impossibility. But I was young, and mainly because my family didn't think I'd ever get a man. I packed my one suitcase and my purse, and I left. And I was supposed to go from Portland to Chicago, down to Pensacola, and then on down to Hollywood. Well, I was on a train. I got on. Believe me, I couldn't even reach the water fountain. It was so crowded. All I saw was a sea of servicemen. But it wasn't, I didn't even get to Chicago when they bumped me. By that I mean, you ought to get off. We're loading more servicemen. No room for civilians. So I had to get off. I don't even know what state it was, but I had stayed up all night. And I got to the depot there, of course, and I asked the attendant, well, when does the next train leave? I didn't know where I was going or what I would do. And he said, lady, or girl, or whatever I was, he says, trains have no schedule. He says, civilians aren't even welcome. Okay, so I went back to my seat, bench. I cried. I didn't know what else to do. I was a crybaby. I cried, so I just sat and I waited and waited. Well, it wasn't too long, and I heard him say, all aboard for Chicago. And there was a sea of men going, and I thought I'd go along. Well, I did. I got on again, and I got on as far as Chicago. There, I had to get off, and all the servicemen too. And I remember that I asked the attendant again, when does the next train go to on down to Jacksonville? Same answer. Well, no schedules. Trains have no schedule. This is wartime, lady. We don't know when you can get on. So there I was. I went back to my bench in the depot, sat down, and cried. And all I could see was a sea of servicemen, some laying on the bench and some sitting up. Well, I must have gone to sleep, because in the morning, when I heard the gateman say, all aboard for Jacksonville, boy, I saw the sea of servicemen, and a little sailor lad grabbed me by the arm. He took my suitcase and he threw his duffel bag over his shoulder, and he said, come on, you're my wife. You'll never get on if you don't. I didn't ask any questions. And you know, I got on, no one questioned anything. But I do remember it was so crowded, he made a little suitcase a seat for me, and he took out a bag and he had some lunch, and he broke open a sandwich, and it was the best roast beef sandwich I ever tasted. He said, you look hungry. Well, I was, and I was sleepy and I was tired. But bless his heart, he gave me that to eat, and then he stayed with me until we got to Jacksonville, before I got to another train. And the last thing I heard him say was, remember, I was your first husband. And he left me. Now, this is so, and I think now back, he was just an angel. He didn't have to do this. I didn't know him from anybody. But I got onto the next train, and I went on down to Florida. I thought, oh good, the trip will soon be over. Bob will be waiting for me at the end. It'll be all right. Got there, no Bob. I sat down in the depot and I cried. I didn't know what to do. No phone in that little station, nothing. So I sat there, I don't know how long I cried, but pretty soon I saw a Navy vehicle drive up, and Bob jumped out, and I don't know if he was glad to see me the way I looked, but I was sure glad to see him. So he took me to our little cottage, which was very nice. And he couldn't spend much time with me because he had classes in the evening and flights during the day. So I had to stay there. He didn't have time off right away to get married for some reason. So about 3 days after that, here comes the manager of the apartments and says, are you so-and-so? I said, yeah. Well, you're not married? I said, no. Well, then you'll have to get out. I'm not going to let a woman stay here and entertain these servicemen. Well, you can imagine how I felt. So the next day when Bob came home, I told him. And then somehow his supervisor did have pity on him. And they let us time off just to get married. My trip to the altar was not like most of you had. You walk down the aisle, meet your Prince Charming. Well, mine wasn't that. Mine was this train ride, and when we got to the little church, all I could see was a sea of chairs standing every which way. Hurry up, let's get this over with. And that was it. Then we were married 1 or was it 2 days, and mother-in-law came. And she spent our honeymoon with us, and I thought to myself, this is, no other man would I do this for, really. But he did tell her, well, Mom, after all, this is my honeymoon, and she did leave then. Bless her heart, she so wanted to see our wedding. But that was my trip to the altar. But when I made my vows and said, I do before the Lord, I meant it. And I still love it.
This was true love. This was
Still
true love.
is. Still is.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. We thought it would be interesting, especially to those of you who are around my parents' age, if we could take a look back at 1943, 50 years ago when they were married, and share with you some of the things that were happening back then, and compare then to now. The average price of a 3-bedroom home in 1943 was $5,000 to $6,000. You can believe that. Men's tennis shoes, $1.49. A tennis racket, $2.50. A 5-pound sack of white sugar, 32 cents. The most popular radio personality that year was Arthur Godfrey. In 1943, Norman Rockwell, who's one of my favorite artists, created Rosie the Riveter. Betty Grable married band leader Harry James. Jimmy Durante insured his nose for $50,000. The musical Oklahoma opened on Broadway. The most popular songs that year were I'll Be Seeing You in All the Old Familiar Places, Mares Eat Oats and Does Eat Oats and Little Lambs Eat Ivy, People Will Say We're in Love, and Oh What a Beautiful Morning. And speaking of music, music has always been a big part of Mom and Dad's lives, just like the Navy was. So we thought it would be reminiscent of the good old days if we, as a group, could sing some oldies but goodies. And I have typed out the words to a half a dozen or so old songs, and we would like to have everyone join us in singing these. Bruce and I would like to sing the first one as a duet. It's called Let the Rest of the World Go By. And this is a favorite of my folks. It was actually on their honeymoon that they heard this song and said, yes, we're going to claim that as our song because that's what we want to do. We want to go to the West and let the rest of the world go by. So Bruce and I will sing it through the first time, and then we would like for all of you to join us the second time, and then we'll just go down the line and sing the rest of the songs together. This is for you, Mom and Dad.
Dad promised some of these things to Mom.
To them, and we would like for you to open it up. I'll let Dad open it up. And if you could read to us who it's from, Dad. That is, if you can read the writing.
As you celebrate 50 special years, this brings congratulations on this long-awaited day that makes a golden milestone that you've reached along life's way. May it all be hoped for. May it bring you special pleasure when it's over. May you have fond memories because may you have fond memories to treasure the best to you always, Paul and Judy. Paul and Judy.
Try Rush Limbaugh.
Rush.
Oh, no. No, really. Rush Limbaugh. Well, I'll apologize to Paul and Judy. Rush, you got that from... Hey, I'm a ditto head if you don't know it. I proudly wear my deficit reduction awareness ribbon. What I do? Thank you, guys.
I don't know if Mark is as much into.
For those of you who don't know, Rush is a radio and TV personality. He's controversial. Either you like him or you don't like him, but Mom and Dad listen to him frequently, so...
Either do or you don't, I guess.
Now my Auntie B has something that she would like to share with us. Annie B, would you want to come up here?
There were two poems that I tried to find that I thought would fit in, but instead I had to write one.
So be it as it might. I'm the bride's sister, younger or older. I'll just let you guess. We were 5 children, Edna, Frida, Walter, Beatrice, Herbert. All beautiful names. I insist you confess. Now Frida Margaret Krell was a popular girl with the men.
Oh, yeah.
When she met Robert Delzer, what happened to the others, she just forgot about them. Now Robert, we all called Bob, got down on his knees and asked Frida Margaret to marry him, please. She, of course, was in love. She said, yes, yes, when do we wed? But Bob had a little problem. Already 2 Frida Delzers in the family, he said. But we can't let that get in our way. May I change your name to Margie Delzer? She heard him quietly say. Well, it's been Margie Delzer for years number 50. Even our own mother thought the name a bit nifty. Speaking of our mother, she loved him like own him. And try as we all may, we just couldn't help but love him. A bit of heaven came down when daughter Diane was born, I say, but most of her young years they lived far away. Now when Diane married Bruce Allen, oh, what a nice lad. Our family's complete. We have the son we never had. Well, their love of God and of each other has grown. An example of a good marriage to others they've shown. So Marg and Bob, I just want to say I love you out loud, and to have you for sister and brother, I'm very proud.
Thank you, Eddie B, for those sentiments. Thank you. I might take this opportunity to open it up to anyone else who'd like to say a few words.
Short words.
Short words.
I've done a lot of good things and a lot of stupid things in my life, but I have never made anybody change their name. But be it as it were, Mother Delzer, Frida Delzer, Frida Bob Delzer. So I don't know about Marge, but I have tried to figure out all through the years whether it was the Delzers that had it or maybe the Fridas.
They asked me as a brother and a brother-in-law if I'd say a few kind things about him. For the life of me, I couldn't think of anything. No, because
I think my sister and her husband, John and Tilly, were the cause of several different people getting married. I remember one couple, they aren't here, Harold and Knock and Loretta Belts. We met at their house. They met at their house. They were playing Spin the Bottle. Well, it just happened that Loretta and Harold, the bottle was pointing there, and that was the start of that wedding. I was hoping they would be here today.
Are you pleased with what you've done?
We didn't do anything, we just had the party.
For those of you that know George and Mary, how's Loretta doing now? She just had heart surgery last week, a week ago.
She's at home.
And she's all recovered. She is home recovered. Doing all right?
Last I heard, yes.
Good. Thank you. Now that's the reason I didn't make it.
They never charged for these services.
No.
Free.
Okay.
Thank you for those kind words.
That's fair.
Appreciate that. We're going to have a short video now in honor of my folks, and it shouldn't take too long. And those of you, I know it's been a long sit, if there are some...
Why not?
We didn't bring our sails. It's kind of like the weather was so icky, it motivated us to bring it, even though the sun was supposed to get nicer. So I brought the kids just in case they went to the side. I'm like being in a swimsuit today. Not feeling real good about the bod.
First thing to do is pretty much
at the bottom.
Yes. Gonna feed him gently because he's an old man
Am I
now.
supposed to give him some?
Sure, you get some. Take it easy, Bob. You're older now.
All right.
Why not?
Oh, my.
Chocolate. I'm supposed to give him a bite.
We don't all laugh at the same time.
Good joke.
Come on, you get
It's your turn now.
Whoa!
I know that.
Well, of course.
Okay, Bob.
Cover knows this is 50-50.
I'll give her a bite, Bob. Are they good?
A big one.
This will be nice.
Stand there one. How about one of those after ceremony smooches?
Okay.
Okay, where are my cake cutters?
Where are our cake cutters? Here comes one, here comes t'other.
Go get them. I'll go wash my hands.
Too thirsty. It was hot in there.
I'm gonna have a piece. Where's Mom?
When? I'm ready.
Go?
Yeah.
Where's the little guy? Where's the other guy?
He's at the other end.
Dad! Dad, keep
What?
it rolling. I'm gonna walk us.
Keep it rolling, huh?
How are your folks, Dick?
Real good. Great.
Do they still go out to,
Hollyview. Yeah. It was, shoot, Walt and Hyman's were out there
oh,
today. Hadn't seen them in a long time. Walt and Alice.
we don't get up and train you that often, and we have to see Dick and Edna and Julie Earl. We were up there about 3 weeks ago for lunch.
Dad, watch. Help.
Yes, yes. In a few minutes.
Good water. Tell Dad it's good water, Rob. Yeah. We'll have to get a picture. Huh? Go over there and stand by Justin. I'll get your picture.
Come on, Jess.
Dad, this whole thing is just 5 followers.
How about you guys sitting over by that thing over there? Look at that. That's cute, isn't it? That's got the hood.
Dad, can we go line up?
What?
Can we go line up?
Yeah, we'll walk over. Bye, Rob.
Need to get Dad's picture, don't we?
No, that's the advantage of owning the camera.
You don't have to be in
Engines don't go in that shed anymore.
How come it's not what?
How come the engines don't go in that shed anymore? They don't go in the shed ever.
They don't go in?
In the shed.
In the shed. No, they
They don't
don't.
fit, do they? Thomas
The
fits in there.
cars. Then what is that for? What is
Let's
there?
go in there for some repair.
What are you shooting, Gus?
I don't know. Anything I can get a hold of.
Ah,
That's too close, Jesse.
What?
You wouldn't get anything but teeth.
Dad, when does it start moving?
not till 10 o'clock. We got lots of time. You want to walk up to the open air car? You want to go sit out in the open air?
Yeah.
Those seats, worried about going back.
Cutoff date's the 1st of September, his birthday's the 2nd, so.
Flip it back, they'll face either way.
Anyway, but.
Let's sit here. Will you take it in here? Yeah. Wow.
Can
You want
sit here
to
the whole time.
Then there's no question.
Here we go, Brandon. Who's that big one, Brandon?
I'll give you better. Oh, no, a couple of years of France.
Oh, yeah.
France and England, yeah. Aside from that, before that.
Will be stopping Parkdale for 1 hour. For those of you who would like to buy tea in Parkdale, there are cafes readily available. You're invited to come back to the Good River once again. It's a beautiful over
No,
Once the maneuver is complete, the engine will fill the cars back up with air and push us across the intersection where we will stop in Parkdale for 1 hour. For those of you who would like a bite to eat while we're stopped in Parkdale, as you step off the train, make a left, follow the boardwalk to the end, and to the right you'll find the Pie Bird Cafe. Also across the street from the Pie Bird Cafe, their takeout deli. You'll also see Edna's Country Kitchen to the left and McIsaac's Store to the right as we enter town for other takeout food. For local fruit and gifts, you'll find them directly to the left of the train at the Out on a Limb gift shop. Some interesting things to see and do while we're stopped in Parkdale. When we arrive there, 1 block to the right of the train, you'll find the Parkdale Memorial Gardens. 1 block to the left of the train, antique stores. Directly to the left of the train, Parkdale's oldest house, a wagon with an historical background in the Oregon Trail, as well as an art exhibit. At the end of the railroad line, you'll see one of the original jitneys or rail buses which serve the local area. And up ahead and to the right of the train, you'll get a view of Mt Hood, as we're 5 miles away from Mt Hood in Parkdale. One of the highlights of the excursion, the Mt Hood Railroad invites you to visit the Hudson Museum. The collection at the Hudson Museum is highly regarded for its regional geologic, prehistoric, and historical value. Hundreds of Indian artifacts as well as pioneer and mineral exhibits. If you would like to visit the Hudson Museum, you'll find it directly to the left of the train. There are restrooms in Parkdale next door to the Hudson Museum, and for those who would like to picnic, you'll find picnicking facilities also to the left of the train. And now our engine will be passing us on the siding to the left.
There goes. So the siding.
No more done.
How fast you keep your fingers in on the siding?
There you go.
Huh?
Red light in there, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay.
This train man here fixed our ramp so we can get off.
The railroad came to Parkdale in 1910. First train with a tractor and operation from the Sunday store. Honored all of the original cultural activities of the lively community for many years.
I couldn't switch back. That was
Once
fun.
again, we will be stopping at Parkdale for 1 hour there. Although the train whistle 5 minutes prior to departure time,
Are you the famous man that's been taking our picture all the time, Jesse?
when we come to a stop at Parkdale, you can
You stand up there on the
enjoy your stop in Parkdale.
train stop.
Are you still taking pictures?
Yeah. Hey, how did you get going when That's not the...
Is this better than McDonald's? Sure.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you get one?
Gonna take a picture of my back. No, that's a good one, Rob.
time? Is it time to go?
No.
Get a picture of Jesse.
Jesse's gonna hide. Watch out, you're not
Okay, now, don't,
pop over.
don't settle down.
Hello, Robbie. You're looking at my shoulder.
Can I take pictures now?
Robert's through.
Robert's through. Look at that lady. She's making more cookies. More cookies for you, Rob.
Okay, turn it off, Robert.
Why?
Because.
Because it's my turn.
Rob,
Yeah.
don't fall backwards, honey. There's a step behind you.
Rob.
Jess, you're just about there. Just about there.
Do something, Robert. Shoo, shoo, shoopy doo.
Good water. Good water.
No, so that's why we walk around, go down to the park over there. We go over the antiques, we go over and buy an antique.
There's an antique store right there.
Let's see. Good stuff. Good stuff.